Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Like it's on. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the June Morro Bay Chamber Breakfast on the Bay and happy Juneteenth. It's great that this fell on today. We did plan it a little bit. I think we have a great topic today. I know we have a cozier group than usual. That's kind of what happens in the summer here in Morro Bay. I'm Jocelyn. I'm your interim CEO at the Chamber. If I haven't gotten to, I think I've met everyone by now, but if I haven't gotten to meet you yet, please be sure to come say hi before you leave today. First of all, I want to thank Brick and Mortar Catering for an amazing breakfast. We've got a great lineup. I want to just take a moment to recognize some of the people who are involved with the chamber, our board of directors. We have a couple board members here. Stephen Peck, if you could raise your hand. We also have Ray in the back. I can't tell you how much time these two in particularly have given to the chamber, and we're really grateful for them because the chamber runs on a small paid staff and then a big group of volunteers. I know we have a couple of our GAC members here too. If you wouldn't mind raising your hand, thank you. We have of the chambers that I know, I think we have really the strongest governmental affairs committee, and perfect timing. In walks our 2024 chairperson, Cherise. Right on cue. With that, we will dive into our agenda. I want to first start off by introducing Vicki with the Diversity Coalition of San Luis Obispo County. Vicki, I'll let you start us off. Thanks so much. I should probably introduce our topic so that she can segue right into it. Today, we're learning about diversity in education and business.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. So they gave me some gadgets, so bear with me. I'll figure it out. But first of all, I am the program director at the Diversity Coalition SLO County for their BIPOC Board Leadership Training Program, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. I'm especially thrilled to be presenting today on the significant occasion, Juneteenth. It's the official holiday celebrating the emancipation of enslaved African Americans in the United States. So, as Jocelyn said, serendipity, I think the universe planned this. So, I'm going to go with that. It's a day of reflection, celebration, and a reminder of the work we continue to do toward equity and inclusion. I'm excited to share with you a bit about our organization, our programs, and ways that you can get involved. So here's the gadget. Oh, I did good. So our mission is to build and sustain a coalition that seeks a more diverse, equitable, and inclusion community through advocacy and education. This organization was established in 2011 after a horrific hate crime was put on a family in Arroyo Grande, a Black family specifically, bless you. And there was a cross that was set on fire and burning on their front lawn. They reported it to the local authorities and they said it was just a prank. Well, the community knew better than that, and the community stepped up. And they created this organization at the time called the Five Cities Coalition, and then subsequently changed the name to the Diversity Coalition that it is now. So, with that, we have educational programs. We believe in the power of education to foster understanding and inclusivity in our community. We offer a range of educational programs designed to address and dismantle systemic barriers to equity and inclusion. We have a school speaker program, and this is an K through 12 speakers program. So they go into the classrooms, auditoriums, and help showcase the importance of telling our stories and telling the stories of various cultural groups, and the importance of seeing the world from someone else's perspective. So these children have that opportunity to witness this firsthand. Fostering understanding in our community, building on our school speaker program, we connect the community with our outstanding speakers and panelists through free public presentations throughout SLO County. The upcoming programs and dates are being planned, but as you can see, there are a variety and diverse programs that are featured by individuals who are uh, experienced in these areas to share, again, an understanding of our differences. So, and this is just a screenshot. But if you do scan it, if you're technically savvy and you do scan it, then you might learn a little bit more in depth, but it's just more visual for today. So why I bring this up is that on March 1st, in partnership with At Her Table, we organized the first Women of Color Symposium on the Central Coast. The Women of Color Symposium took place at the Monday Club and focused on developing skills, learning strategies, and more importantly, connections that will advance women of color in our region. And there was business panels, women on boards, interactive workshops, a wine lounge, women of color vendors throughout the event, networking for connection and relaxation, professional headshots were provided. It was a full, and I see Shinda back there, acknowledging she was there. This was for women of color, produced by women of color. And I want to take a moment to exhale and just share with all of you here that while we are a growing community, and I include myself now having been here for a couple of years, that we know someone who is a person of color, identifies as a person of color, embrace them and their differences, and share these types of opportunities with them. I have some brochures on the tables for you. Lots of gadgets going on today. I love it. So here's where I step in. The BIPOC Board Leadership Training Program. I want to share a little bit about this. We launched this. Actually, I was hired in May of 2023 based on my experience and skill set. I worked with the African American Board Leadership Institute in Los Angeles, and we unapologetically recruited and trained Black professionals for board leadership and governance, and worked with nonprofit organizations and government agencies looking to diversify their boards with placement assistance. And when I shared that with Rita Casaverde, who is the executive director of the Diversity Coalition, she said, we need that here in this area. And I said, oh, okay. And then it turned into a work meeting, and then I was offered a position. So bless you. So real quick, I'll give you a little stat about why this is necessary, not only in this region, but across the nation. As highlighted by the Annie E. Casey Foundation, approximately 60% of all nonprofits report serving Black, Indigenous, or people of color, yet 84% board members identify as white. Our program aims to change this by preparing BIPOC professionals for board service, ensuring diverse representation in nonprofit leadership, and create a pipeline of board-ready candidates trained in board governance. So we just had the second class, and our goal is to have 2 cohorts per year, spring and fall. And what I'd like to highlight here is that the program equips participants with the knowledge and skills needed for effective board service. And as you can see, Shinda Lorick, today's keynote speaker, is one of our dynamic team instructors and supports me by leading the coordination efforts with the other module facilitators. So I want to publicly thank her for stepping up to do that. The inaugural class, I was flopping around like a fish out of water. And I asked her, I said, would you help me and lead the next cohort instructors? And she agreed. So that relieved me a lot of pressure. So our program develops, as I said, good board basics, which covers board governance, nonprofit finance, strategic leadership and planning, and fundraising and networking strategies. And those of you who serve on boards, have been on boards, you understand that's part of the basics. But there's also an understanding of the fiduciary responsibility and the duty of care, right? So, whoa. So I always say this looks like a swap meet paper, flyer, but it's intentional. So in addition to training, we offer board matching and placement assistance services. The initiative connects our trained BIPOC professionals with nonprofit organizations seeking to diversify their boards. This service not only benefits individuals by providing leadership opportunities, but also enriches the organization with diverse perspectives and experiences. We're always looking for partners to support our mission. Sponsorship opportunities are available for various programs, including the BIPOC Board Leadership Training. Your support helps us continue offering these valuable programs and services. And again, this is just a sample, but this was a list of our sponsors over here, PG&E, the city of San Luis Obispo, and so on. And then here are the various organizations that have committed to diversifying their boards. And so they met with our cohort in a speed dating network format. So talk about organized chaos. That was a lot of fun. So I'm going to wrap this up. Volunteer. We also welcome volunteers to join in our efforts. And I did speak about that at the table today. Whether you contribute your time, skills, or resources, your involvement makes significant impact in our work. Volunteering helps us provide a rewarding opportunity to continue to create a more inclusive community. If you'd like to consider volunteering, go to volunteer@diversityslow.org. And thank you again for having me today. This QR code is live. This one is if you'd like to join our mailing list. And I really hope that you will. And I really hope to see your faces because I'm good with faces. Names, not so much. But faces I'm good with. And I would love to see you at some of our programs. So if you join our mailing list, then you'll be definitely plugged in. Thank you for your time and attention today. I hope you're excited as I am about the work we're doing and the positive changes we're making in the SLO County and region.
Thank you, Vicki. I actually was involved with Diversity Coalition when it was 5 cities. And that was like 7 or 8 years ago. And to see what you guys are doing now and kind of being the county-wide organization is like a lot of growth and really exciting to see. So thank you for being here today. With that, I'm going to introduce Nancy and Tammy to tell us about the Savory Palette.
Hello, my name is Tammy, and I'm an asparagus. An asparagus. No, I'm a business owner in Morro Bay. Yeah, and I'm Nancy. So some of you know us pretty well. Others of you we don't know at all. So thank you to the Chamber for inviting us to speak today. We're here to talk about what's new with the Savory Palette. But first, we talk about diversity. We talk about being a community, and we like to think of ourselves as a community within a community. We are women owned. We are LGBTQ owned. My wife right here next to me, we are part of the community. We have built a community within the community, and we're very proud of it. We like to use the word inclusive, not exclusive. We like everybody to be happy with coming in, being a part of what we do every single day. And we're kind of proud of that. So with that, new stuff on the horizon. What are we? I guess I'll start with that. Yeah. We are not a gay bar. We are not a gay bar. Because we're not particularly a bar. We're a hangout. We're a place to gather. We are a gathering place. We do food, we do wine, and we are now starting a rebrand, which I'm going to let Tammy talk about. Yes, because we're all about loose leaf tea now. We are introducing that and afternoon tea and high tea for fundraisers. Yeah, coming out of my kitchen is going to be some new stuff. We're starting to add a little bit of fish, which we've never done before. So we'll see how our neighbors like that because we're in a shopping center. So we're going to try a little bit of that. But we want to do fundraisers. We want groups to come and like we have the South Bay Women's Network that comes and meets once a month with us. And we'd like more of that to come in. So when people come into town, now instead of drinking just wine, which we encourage lots of, we'd also like to offer afternoon tea. And unfortunately, at this point, Tammy needs 24 hours, Tammy being me, to bake and to plan the menu for that. So hopefully it'll be an everyday thing as the months go by. But it is my new passion.
Yeah.
So, and Nancy's agreed
My
to try and
passion's
cheese.
wine, always will be.
Always will.
So we're in the middle of a rebrand right now. We're not changing our name. We thought about it, but we're not because it's going to cost us a lot of money to change everything.
Yeah.
So we're staying with the name Savory Palette, but we are now a wine and tea house. So wine always.
We're not a bar.
No.
We're a tea house.
We're about experiences. So we're about wine tasting, wine and food pairing, wine makers. All of that is still part of what we do. But now we are doing the afternoon tea. So you get the tower and you get the pot of tea, you get the choice of wine and tea. So it's just another experience for us to push. But that's kind of what we're in the middle of. And we hope you guys come in and see what we're doing. Give us 24 hours notice on it
If you want to do an afternoon tea.
but that should come along and be a regular thing for us. I think so. June is Pride Month. We can't go without noticing that. It's also Juneteenth. We can't go without noticing that. We are a diverse community. We like the diversity in our community, and we want to celebrate that every single day. And we hope you guys will come and celebrate that with us. Okay.
I'm done.
You good?
Oh,
Okay.
Morning, everybody. Yes. Oh,
we are still closed Sundays and Mondays. It's Tammy and I. We do everything. We have a little help from some of our friends out there, but we are the Savory Palette. You will see us every time you come in. So we are open from Tuesday through Saturday. We open at 2:00 those days. We're open till 9 or 10. We still do an open mic every Thursday, which Ray is a big part of.
and don't forget
From the
Michael.
beginning.
Yep. Michael.
And Michael, yes, of course. And we usually have music every Saturday. We do a few other things from time to time. But as Tammy said, we're
Oh.
really trying to get more into charity events, winemaker events, that kind of thing for evening. If we do an evening tea, just give us a little bit of notice. It's a little bit more of a presentation than just an afternoon tea. But that's where we're going.
And we're adding a piano.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully
Yeah.
we'll be the first piano bar and
In Morro Bay.
Morro Bay.
Yes.
How many selections of tea?
We
85.
Oh, wow.
No.
This is my little overachiever here.
If it was up to me, we would, but
Just starting out, we have 9 different teas right now. Yes,
yes.
yes.
What's your capacity?
We can hold up to 100 people. We have seating for about 45. So for music events, a lot of times we have standing room only. But we can for an evening tea or anything like that, we can seat 45 people for that.
Actually, we can.
We did
yes.
one for South Bay
Bay.
Women's Network. That was sort of our kickoff.
Yeah.
We had 24 people at that one. A lot of food and a lot of tea. I think we overdid it a little bit. We sort of saturated them somewhat. Yep, we can do it.
Yeah,
We can
anniversary.
do private events with enough notice. There's one thing we need to be very clear about, though. We are licensed for 21 and above. So kids, unfortunately, we can't really do anything with a party for kids. Even tea, mother-daughter things is a little bit difficult for us. There may be ways we can work it out. So just ask us about it, okay?
Well, older daughters. It's
Yeah.
good for older daughters
Yeah.
and mothers to get together and
Mhm.
fathers
Yep.
and sons
Yep.
and fathers and daughters. And like I said, we're all inclusive.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Anybody else? Yes.
How's your Wi-Fi?
Oh, we have Wi-Fi. We have good Wi-Fi. Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
All right.
We keep telling them to turn it down on Thursdays, but
That's not Wi-Fi.
oh, wait. Oh, that's it.
That's hi-fi. Hi-fi. All right. Anything else? Thank you all. We invite you to come down, check us out, sit and enjoy the view. Maybe a pot of tea, maybe a glass of wine, a little bit of food from some of our tasty bites. We do cheese and charcuterie. We have been told it's the best in town, best in the county. I don't know, whatever. We'll take it. But just come and see what we do. If you like us, spread the word.
And of course, we have dessert. So if you've
Yeah.
gone to dinner and you haven't had dessert, just come in for a glass of wine and something chocolatey.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Shenda Lore with Lore Coaching Services. We're really fortunate to have her as part of the chamber and look forward to hearing from her. Thanks so much, Shenda.
Thank you. Well, hello, my name is Chenda Lore, and I'm going to be talking to you about leading the discussion with you about diversity, equity, and inclusion in education and business. Now, mind you, I am not an expert in diversity, equity, and inclusion, just let you know, but I live the experience. So I'm here to share that with you. And I moved here to Morro Bay almost 3 years ago from San Luis Obispo after raising my 4 children there for over 20 years and love the community. I followed my dream to come live by the coast nearest my most favorite surf spot in the world, which is the Rock, which is where I'm going right after this. My truck is already packed. So I love this community and love being part of it. I am getting ready to open up a coaching studio and gallery because I do art too. I'm a creative, and it's been my dream. And the kids are like, "Mom, go for it," because they're done. I'm done this year. The last one graduated from college, so I'm doing that, following my dream to do art and to help people and to serve the community and continue doing that and creating a space for everybody to gather and be themselves and feel comfortable and safe and create a life that they want. So that's Laura Coaching Studios. That's coming up. I wanted to start today with, got to use the clicker. The importance of starting an event with a land acknowledgement to know and think about, reflect on who's lived here before us and the forces used to acquire the land for their current use. So reflect on that. The Yaktichu Tichu Yaktalini tribe, the Northern Chumash tribe, also known as the YTT Northern Chumash tribe, the Salinan and others not recognized by the current government have occupied this land for over 10,000 years. Their remnants are around, and it's an amazing land that we have to use and to enjoy. Also, I want to make sure that we support the people now with their efforts to conserve and preserve the land and the environment for the future. So with that, also Juneteenth. I wasn't sure if that was going to be on the program, so I wanted to make sure that we acknowledge Juneteenth. So on June 19th, 1865, freedom finally came for the 250,000 enslaved people of Texas. That day, which would become known as Juneteenth, the Army arrived to enforce what had already been the law of the land for 2.5 years, the Emancipation Proclamation. So today we recognize that Juneteenth not only marks the end of America's original sin of slavery, but also the beginning of the work at the heart and soul of our nation, making the promise of America real for every American. And those are the words of President Joe Biden's proclamation. And can you believe that it only became a national holiday since 2021? Yeah, took us a while. So I want to start this conversation by setting the tone of it, acknowledging there's going to be some awkwardness. It's work. It's a time for reflection and growth. So when you're feeling awkward, you're growing. You're expanding your area of comfort. So to create this safe space, I want you guys to come with me to agree on a community agreement, which are keep an open mind, listen with intent to learn, pay attention to your defense mechanisms. So when you feel that hardness in your chest, be aware of that. Listen to that body. Be open to relearning what you already know. That's a hard one. Shifting. Respect risk-taking. So speak up. Take that risk. Use inclusive language. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And you folks are awesome. um, also, ask questions. Take that risk. Share your experience. And I want to also make sure we're confidential with what's said here stays here. And what is learned here goes with you, because it is a ripple effect, right? And we want this community to be happy and healthy. And yeah, that means mental health and be inclusive. Also want to touch base on some key terms. So I want to start with unconscious bias. Being aware of yourself, knowing your experiences, your beliefs, your perspective, and taking an inventory of who you are and where you come from, and being proud of that. Unconscious bias is there are social stereotypes about certain groups of people that individuals form outside of their own conscious awareness. It's from your like prehistoric animal brain. You don't know you have them, but you do. It's activated involuntarily. It could be favorable or unfavorable. You know, you've got your biases. It resides deep in the subconscious and not usually accessible through introspection. And also understand that it affects your understanding, actions, and the decisions you make every day. The people you decide to say hi to or give a smile to when you're walking across the street or down the street, downtown. You discriminate. Also, diversity, the big D, right? Reason why we're here. It's is the recognition and acceptance of the differences between people's social identities, which can include race, ethnicity, gender identity, sexual orientation, ability, economic class, religion, nationality, and their intersections, how all of those aspects of a person meet and is projected. So that's a lot to take in, right? You know, there's a lot of layers to us individually. We come from different places and have different experiences. And then our perspectives are set in a certain way. And sometimes it's hard to change those. The way we grew up, you know, they say by the time you're 7, you've learned everything you need to know socially to get a, I mean, you should. Those poor COVID children. But yeah, they say that that is when the brain has formed to social bonds, social equities or etiquettes by the time you're 7. So thinking about the different unique experiences that we all have and that we all share, right? We share Morro Bay. Oh, that's the Amgen tour, by the way. I use my own photos for my slides. So you'll see like family members and other things in there. So then E, there's 2 E's. There's equity and then there's equality. So equality is treating everyone the same and giving that everyone access to the same opportunities. So everything's the same. You treat everyone the same. But equity is everyone is provided with the resources. This is my definition that I've like gleaned from others. Everyone's provided with resources specific to their needs to achieve equal outcomes because everyone is different and everyone has different needs. So leveling that playing field, giving people the tools they need to be able to achieve what everybody else can achieve, or take advantage of the same opportunities that everyone else is afforded. You know, think about what does that look like in your business, in your home, around the community. When you think about that, like accommodations, that's such a big word. But sometimes it's really hard, you know? Who's had to make their business place accessible? And what does that mean? We always think about accessibility as being physical access, having a ramp, having put that expensive ADA ramp in, um, and making those type of physical accessible traits. But universal access, the concept of trying to incorporate a lot of different perspectives in developing a place for people to be able to absorb the information. If it's an educational space, like at the Botanical Garden, we use universal access principles when developing the updated garden, making the paths wider and flatter and more rigid, but also accommodating with signage that people can see. We're looking at providing a computer program that has a QR code that people with who are sight impaired would be able to hold their phones up and hit the QR code, and it would narrate what the display has to offer. And then having the option to offer different languages on our signs. They were just translated to Spanish. We have half Spanish, half English, at least at the Botanical Garden. That was my previous role, by the way. And, having input from diverse communities to be able to develop spaces and material that they can use and that they can access. And there's cultural aspects that can be considered too. So I think we've done equity and equality. The next one is the big I. It's really hard. I admit it, to be inclusive. The inclusivity means the practice or policy of providing equal access to opportunities and resources for people who might otherwise be excluded or marginalized, such as those who have physical or intellectual disabilities and members of other minority groups. Inclusion is incomplete without equity. Providing a seat at the table when making big decisions to people that you wouldn't otherwise think of. And decentralizing privilege. So what does that look like in your business? And what does it look like in education? Because I have to cover education too. So any questions? You're welcome. Now it's absorb. This is the background picture is my family reunion. So this one's an interesting topic. I got a video because I wanted to illustrate it. And thank you, Jody, for choosing the video that will work with the projector because mine did not work. Microaggressions are brief and commonplace indignities, whether intentional or unintentional, that are informed by stereotypes or biases and communicate hostility or negative slights and insults that potentially have harmful or unpleasant psychological impact. Who's heard of microaggressions before? Yeah. It's like death by 1,000 cuts. It really wears you down. And what does it look like? Can you turn on the video? I see a lot of nods in the audience, and yeah, affects all of us, right? So what are the costs? This slide is actually provided to us, and we got permission from Dr. Bea Makakau. She was a fellow instructor for the BIPOC Leadership Program, and she is an expert in DEI. She's part of the Cal Poly Office of University Diversity and Inclusion. She acts as the Assistant Vice President for Strategic Planning and Networks, and she's an amazing person if you ever get to meet her. The costs. Was it increase in depression, anxiety, discouragement, injuries to themselves sometimes, pains, distress, absenteeism, attrition, turnover, departure, vengeful activities, lots of wasted time, team and company politics, sometimes litigation. It's expensive. Lack of investment in the business. And also decreases in attention, concentration, quality of performance, ability to achieve their goals, lack of team cohesion, lack of participation, low self-esteem, team and organizational loyalty is decreased, decrease in communications, they may shut down, less organizational reputation, and less potential in relationships and positive coping behaviors. So it affects your business and learning environment really detrimentally. But what can we do about it? I was in on a positive note. Yeah, I've been accused of being too positive sometimes. We can address it. And this slide is from Naomi Siggs, also one of Bea's slides from our training. What can we do? Each of us has the power to make small changes. And like I said, to have a ripple effect in the community. We can address it. So the A stands for acknowledge it. Be courageous. Have the courage to call it out when it's happening. It's hard. And also the D, talk about it, dialogue. So yeah, culturing it also is, yeah, talk about it. Talk about solutions. Talk about why. Why is it painful? You know, why are those comments hurtful? And then the other D, document it. I know I journal often. It's a good reminder. Also, as a business owner and a former executive director, it's really important to journal and write down when those incidences happen. If not just for legal purposes, because then you have recall, but also to remember it and address it. The R stands for redirect. Collaborate, work together, solve the problem. Let's learn from it. And then E is for educate. Identify where there's room for improvement and more education. And provide it if you're a leader. I mean, you guys are all our leaders. Provide that education to your people. Yeah. I'm here, I'm around. I coach this stuff, so it's fun. And yeah, also learn about yourself. Like if you catch yourself saying those stupid things, I mean, I do it all the time, admit it. My kids call me out. I love that. Learn so much from them. And it's a time for growth. It's awkward for a second, but then you just go forward in a better way. Find better comments or a better way of asking questions. Be curious. Like ask the person you're talking to that you made the infraction to, that you hurt. Admit it, it does hurt. How else can I say that? You know, I didn't mean it, you know, like it's not intentional usually, but address it. Call it out, call yourself out. And then stop the exclusionary behavior. Be inviting. Have a zero tolerance policy in your manuals and stick to them. Have the courage to call it out and to address it. It does take a lot of courage, by the way. And then make the commitment to support the people. And it goes both ways, the people that are infracted upon, and then the people that are causing it. We're all people. Any questions?
Question.
Yeah.
Comment on what we started to see in the backlash against, both in government and in private businesses.
Yeah, and I know the pendulum is swinging. This next election is a big one, and it's fear. I think a lot of it is fear, and as a leader, I don't make decisions based on fear. So making sure that I'm rubbing my heart a lot because this is hard work for me, and yeah, and getting educated about why they may be making those policies and actions. I know there's backlash because it's uncomfortable. There's a lot of shame in it. I don't know. I can go on forever with this, and it could be a really deep dive, but we have some more stuff to cover, and that's a big topic. Over beer or wine would be awesome. Or both. Yeah. So this next slide I wanted to share with you is also from Bea, Dr. Bea, and there is a value of a diverse community, and it can be measured in cultural capital. This is a new term for me last spring. This is amazing. Growing up, I was really ashamed of who I was and where I came from. I don't know if you know, I'm an immigrant from Cambodia. My family came to the States when I was 5. We escaped the Cambodian genocide. And I was taught to assimilate. Speak English. I was punished when I spoke Khmer in school. So when I go back to Cambodia, I'm so ashamed of not being able to read and speak the language. It's horrible. And I wish my mom had more, well, she learned English really well. But it was a cost to the kids because we lost that part of our heritage. And but there is a value to diversity and being different. Yeah. So income are dollars received from salaries, wages, and payments. But wealth is the total extent of an individual's accumulated assets and resources. The stuff that we have in ourselves, our experiences, everything like material stuff, money, whatever, but our relationships and the knowledge that we have gleaned from having experiences is also extremely valuable. It shows up as community cultural wealth, which is included in it is social capital, being able to navigate a lot of different social situations. We adapt really fast. We've had to. Navigational capital. I've been all over the world, lived in a lot of different places. And well, I found that this place is my favorite to admit. Came back. Second to New Zealand, of course. But we're also really resilient, being able to bounce back different situations. That is a very highly, how do you say it? Survival skills. Got those. Also linguistic capital, being able to pick up different languages really fast because you had another language. It's the different neural pathways that you've developed than other people that haven't learned another language. Mm. My kids say that I speak Spanish with a French accent because that was my third language. Yeah. Aspirational capital. Work really hard. Yeah. The American dream, it's a real thing. I'm a product of it. And familial capital. I shared with you my family reunion picture. That's only the family that is in like the Seattle area, but I have family all over the world. Yeah. We go back to my city that my mom grew up in Battambang, and I have like everybody's a family member. It's amazing. Yeah, I have family everywhere. So it's nice when I travel. I usually just stay with family. So that saves me a lot of money. Yeah. And then the whole idea of tokenism being a capital asset. And what does it mean for your business to have a person of color or somebody who has different beliefs and that's different from you? Well, it actually shows up on your bottom line. There's an increase in profits. You are qualified for a lot of other funding opportunities if you're a nonprofit and also small businesses. You have a wealth of skills on your payroll. Loyalty, very loyal. Take that risk and hire somebody who's different from you. They're going to be your best friend. Opposites attract, right? And the cultural wealth that diverse individuals contribute is measurable. So, to summarize, why is DEI important in education? I just grabbed this off of the internet from a guy named Robert F. Smith, who's very well versed. He has a blog. He writes about what is DEI in education. He says DEI in education is important because it can teach students and school staff the power of recognizing and respecting our shared humanity. Not only does incorporating DEI initiatives in schools help encourage acceptance, but it also provides students and staff with a wealth of other benefits. Some of these include positive impacts on attitudes, better critical thinking, and higher rates of academic success, an increase in efforts to help those in their communities, preparation for their experience as adults in the global economy. So why not incorporate DEI? Make it a priority. And then also lastly from Indeed, because Indeed is awesome for hiring people. It's a great platform to use. The 5 advantages of diversity in the workplace. That's my paint and sip class that I did in my old house. There are better opportunities for creativity and problem solving, increase in innovation. So smarter decision making because you have a pool of different perspectives. You can make better decisions that way. Increase in profits and productivity, reduce turnover and increase employee retention. You will have an engaged workforce that is empowered, and also improved reputation for your business. You're casting a really wide net and welcoming a lot of people to purchase your stuff. So bottom line, thank you. I'll be around for questions.
Shanda, wow. Thank you. That was so good. We gave her a tough task to try to cover such a big topic in such a short period of time. Shanda, can you stay after if anyone has questions or wants to get in touch with you? Okay, thank you so much. It was so great. Every breakfast on the bay, I'm like, this is my favorite one. And next month, I'm like, no, this is my favorite one. So with that, we've got about 10 more minutes. I'm going to invite Shell and Amy up from the Ugly Mug. And then I think we also have someone from Project Surf Camp that will come right after you guys.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much. I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, Jody, for putting us on the gay agenda for today. I'm Shell. This is Amy. We're the Ugly Mug Ceramics. I'm not gay, but my wife is. So, you know, anyway, I wanted to talk about, we're originally from Fresno. We both worked at Pepsi in Fresno. Initially, I was not out at work. I was there for 22 years. Amy came along and joined Pepsi in 2012. And that's about the time that inclusivity was becoming an important part of the ethos of many companies, and Pepsi included. Amy and I became involved in our employee resource group, and it was called Equal. We spearheaded involvement in LGBTQ events and pride celebrations throughout the region, and we knew what we were doing had value. Never did we realize how important it was until the day that we went to Los Angeles Pride, or LA Pride Parade. Pepsi was walking in that, and we woke up that morning to the news that 49 people had been slaughtered at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Florida. And, you know, we talked about it briefly. Should we do this? Is this going to be safe? And we said, absolutely. We don't have a choice. This is what we need to do. So moving forward, when we became business owners, it seemed natural that we would continue promoting an authentic lifestyle. This is who we are. We were going to be out and open about our LGBTQ identities and offer a safe space for everyone. We find a sense of empowerment being able to authentically represent ourselves and contribute to the representation of the LGBTQ community in the business world. So Amy and I have been so fortunate to, I'm sorry. We've been so fortunate to, yeah, see, she's my teller to my pen because she doesn't talk. We do live kiln openings and she refuses to be in front of the camera. So much. Anyway, what I was saying is that we were so fortunate that we live in a community that we are welcomed with open arms. We have the best allies, especially down on Main Street and Morro Bay Boulevard, with our neighbors at Gaia's Garden. What's that?
And the Embarcadero.
And the Embarcadero, of course. But we're just lucky that we were invited so openly to this community. And I think we were supposed to talk about what we're doing. We're making stuff. Come see us. We do. Has everybody put a ticket in the bag? So it's Pride Month and Juneteenth. We won't ever forget that. But it is Pride Month. So we thought we would give away this Pride mug. So Amy, can you do something? So we're gonna draw the winner. All right. So here we go. Amber Johnson. Amber. All right. Thank you very much. And you're going to introduce my buddies from Project Surf Camp. Oh, okay. So John Taylor, Matt Makowetsky, Project Surf Camp.
Shell and Amy are our board of directors. So that's awesome. What a great opportunity to present Shell and Amy on Juneteenth as we really recognize equality and the ending of slavery, Emancipation Proclamation combined with the ending of the Civil War, 13th Amendment, right? It really was what made those that were slaves free. And the Juneteenth, that time when the Union Army came to Galveston Bay, Texas, and said, "Hey, there is no slavery. We're a free country," and enforced the things that they were in the Emancipation Proclamation. So this is great. There's always work to do. There's always work. We're always moving forward. Real quick, I've got less than 2 minutes. We're Project Surf Camp. Matt Makowetsky, my assistant director, myself. We run. Raise your hand if you know what Project Surf Camp is. All right. If you don't, it's almost everyone. Nonprofit. We work with individuals with special needs for 5 weeks of the summer. We have a big fundraiser coming up on Thursday from 5 to 8. Grapes and Hops by the Rock. We transform Coleman Park. We fence in the parking lot. and we have 20 plus wineries and 5 or 6 breweries and some food trucks, and just want to promote that. You can buy tickets online, or you can buy tickets at the door. The online's a little bit cheaper. We're ready to go, but come down, have a good time. Again, as a nonprofit, as we're always raising funds to support our cause. So come down, and have a good time. Thanks, Matt.
David's going to come up and tell us about a beautiful new book he has about Morro Bay.
Years of speaking at the city council. We can do it in 2 minutes. Sure. David Weissman. And indeed, today we also know it is Pride Month. And I met internationally acclaimed photographer Arthur Tress when I interviewed him for the San Luis Obispo Queer Archive Video History Project. At the end of the interview, Arthur was, "How long have you lived in Morro Bay?" I said, 21 years. He's like, "How do I not know you?" Because he lived in Cambria for 25 years, 1991 to 2016. Between 2005 and 2010, 3 days a week, he came down to Morro Bay with a camera like this one, not some easy to carry iPhone. But a big clunky old monster like this, hard not to notice him or hear him when he was out there. He took, in that time, over 15,000 film photographs of Morro Bay and Morro Rock. And this is, of course, after a lifetime career. This past autumn and winter, his life's work was on display at the Getty Museum in Los Angeles, filling the photography wing. So Arthur is a photographer of renown. Well, when I said I'd lived here and I once was the chairman of the promotions committee. Ooh, he says, I have a project that's been sitting on a shelf for a long time. You know about Morro Bay? I said, I guess. He says, maybe you can trim these down from 15,000 to 100 photographs in a book. 100 views of Morro Rock, patterned after the famous Japanese printmaker Hokusai's 100 views of Mount Fuji. And I know every restaurant in Morro Bay probably has the wave picture by Hokusai and every T-shirt that's sold down on the thing. So we did. And over the course of a year and a half now, I've narrowed it down to 100 pictures out of tens of thousands. And we hope to release this summer for the anniversary of Morro Bay, 100 views of Morro Rock in black and white. He covers all the moments of Morro Bay. There's whimsical, there's spiritual, there's geometric, abstract compositions. To not take up any more of your time, what I do is anyone who's interested can reach me, and I'll give these out. Feel free to call me. Would you like to see a sample of the book? Let me know. If you're a merchant who thinks you might have room for it in your shop, we're looking to see the pre-orders on this so we get an idea of just how much interest there is in a book like this. And that's what we got for you today. Thanks very much. I'm here with the handouts.
Thank you, David. Looks beautiful. You guys have been great. We have one more speaker. I want to be sure to thank our sponsors, Vistra Corp and Beads by the Bay and coffee from Slow Roasted. And a big thank you to Brick and Mortar. I want to introduce Chef Evan to tell us a little bit about Brick and Mortar Catering. How many of you were at the gala? So they provided dinner at the gala and they are our breakfast sponsor this month.
Hello. As she mentioned, my name's Evan Hoffman from Brick and Mortar. You might have seen us up in the corner up there at some point during the gala we've had tonight or this morning. We've been in business for 5 years now. We do all sorts of events from weddings to birthdays to celebrations of life. Anything and everything you could mention, we can handle it. I'd just like to say thank you for having us here today. Really appreciate Morro Bay and the community. I grew up in the area. I'm a 5th generation from San Luis Obispo County, and I really appreciate the things that the community centers, the Chamber of Commerce does in this area. You guys have made it a much better community as a whole, from South County to North County, and especially in Morro Bay. Morro Bay is a gem of a place, and we really appreciate the work that you guys do. So we are here for that. A little bit more about Brick and Mortar. We, like I said, we do every sort of event that you could imagine, and we do global cuisine. So whatever neck of the woods, whatever country you come from, we are familiar with your food, and we are more than willing to make a happy event for you. So yeah, thank you for having us today, and I won't take any more of your time.
I have to say we got so busy with the gala that Lindsay was like, we still don't have a breakfast sponsor. And Manny was there. He's like, we'll do it. And they also donated a chef's dinner with wine for 6. I'm not sure who won that. I was bidding on it all night and I lost. So whoever that was, I think it was Absolution Sellers. So we'll let them have it. But anyways, I just wanted to invite you all to our membership mixer on the 10th. We will be at Wimmer's Automotive and Hybrid Repair and Smog, formerly Jim's Automotive. And they have some amazing giveaways, including a $60 gift certificate on your next service. So please join us for our next mixer. And then we will be back here also in July for our next breakfast on the bay. And if you know of anyone who would appreciate the content that we're providing, but they can't make it, we do have a virtual option as well. A big thank you to Jody and Lindsay for putting this together and all of you for being here. Have a great day.